What's good? It's your boy. We back. As you can see, I did something crazy just to give you an example, to show you how your entire life is an illusion and how you actually think that you are a manifestation of random choices and random events, but there is no accidents. Everything is an illusion, and once you learn to master that, you can do shit like this. And I can post this video on YouTube and make it last forever, just to give you an example of what I say when I think fifth dimensionally and sixth dimensionally, seventh dimensionally, the different dimensions. Once you become aware of them, you can learn to master them and manipulate them. And that's basically what I'm doing in this video. All I did, there's a mirror right across from me, and there's a mirror behind me, and I just simply took my iPad up there and put it like this so you can see the infinite reflection. That's wild, right? And that's kind of symbolic of today's lit, which is called the infinite mind. The infinite mind, or the original mind, is the original mind that you had before, you was bombarded with music videos and, cars and all the pollution in the air and the shit coming through the TV and shit coming through the radio and the stress that you get in your relationships and, all of the media and the mainstream information that bombards you with distractions and chaos and shit like that. All of that is not part of the original mind. The original mind is infinite, which means you have an infinite mind. It's an infinite depth of knowledge, which means that once you think you know something, that's not the end of it. It keeps going. A lot of people who got rich don't expect change. Like a lot of people who got rich selling CDs and music in the 90s and the 80s, they didn't expect that the music was going to change. And that when Kazaa came out and Napster, you remember all that? And then, you could start downloading music and YouTube and the whole change of the way that the flow of information came as far as, being able to get MP3s and download them. The people who was making millions off CDs and stuff, they didn't really expect that impact, so they weren't prepared for the change. So I say that to say that once you have infinite knowledge, you expect change and stuff like that. You don't get stuck in your ways. You constantly want to seek new information. You constantly want to see what's out there. You don't want to get stuck in your ways. And a lot of times we get stuck in our ways. We get a job. We get comfortable doing it. We just want comfort. We want security. We want job security. We don't want to get out there and explore new options and new ideas. We just kind of want to know what we want to know. And that's why a lot of times when we get approached with a lot of new information, we kind of get stagnant. We kind of freeze up a little bit because we're not familiar with it. And we want to be sure and we want to be careful that what we're getting into is correct, and we want to do our own investigation and our own research. But a lot of us aren't even used to making research a part of our schedule. You follow what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we don't take time out of our day just to research and just find out new information. You know what I'm saying? Some of us do, some of us don't. Some of us who do it should do it more. And I try to research at least 2-3 hours a day. I'm constantly researching new information. It's just part of my schedule. So I'm always accepting in new chaos, new chaos. Yeah, right. I'm always accepting in new information. And I do. I separate the real from the fake. That's Tehuti. That's number 2, which means wisdom. You show wisdom toward the new information. You just don't accept all new information. You gotta, tell what's bullshit and what's real. And that's based on inner structure, inner alchemy. So once you understand that there is such thing as the original mind, the infinite mind, then you will become aware that information is infinite. You can never get enough information. If you read the book of Ecclesiastes, my Uncle Mark was one of my favorite books in the Bible. It's a book of Ecclesiastes because they discuss that. They say sometimes you can get too much information, and I don't believe that, because it even says in there, once you do get a lot of information, you realize it's better to have that information than not to have it. So the original infinite mind is proof that information is infinite, that you can go on forever. You know, you can never get enough information. And it brings me to a point where I remember one time I was watching a television program and had my boy Rage, a good friend of mine named Rage. He's from Providence, Rhode Island. He used to work at a company called the Black Rep Company. And he seen I was watching him on TV once, and a white dude asked him, he said, well, how come people from overseas, you know, Arabs, Asian people, and, you know, Irish people, and, you know, Korean people, all other types of, you know, different cultures was able to come to the United States and flourish and make money, but black people have been living here since the beginning, since the United States started, but still ain't able to, you know, flourish, even though slavery ended, you know, over 100, 200 years ago. And Rage looked right at him. He said, man, there's a very simple answer for that. I was like, whoa, what? I sat right up in my chair, and he said, well, the reason, you have to understand the reason for black folk is simply to record the different types of changes in light and sound and, you know, pass them down to the next generation. We are aware that this whole life is an illusion. We're just here to record the different types of changes between light and sound and physical matter and, you know, pass that down to the next generation. And that's the reason why we're here. We're not here to get caught up in money and the way that politics change and things like that. He said, no, we're here for one reason. We have the infinite mind to record the way that light, sound, and matter changes and then, you know, pass it down to the next generation. Completely blew my mind. I don't think that a lot of people understand the simplicity, but the complex of that jewel that he had dropped when he said that, because it's true. Like once I became aware that I could do, this is a small example, that you could do shit like this and make it infinite. There's no limit. The sky ain't even a limit as far as where I can take my imagination. As far as I have the right inner structure and the right knowledge and the right jewels, there's an infinite sea of knowledge that I can create that will last forever, that people will pass on to the next generation. And that's the key to. That's why we're here. Everything else is an illusion. So, you know that the original mind is real. The movie Rain Man is a good movie to watch if you're trying to get an idea of the original mind. Certain people with what is it called? Autism, that have more right side activated brains patterns. The right side of their brain is more active than the left side of the brain. If you don't know the difference between the left side and the right, the left side and the right side of the brain, I'm not going to explain that. That's a whole different chapter. I suggest you look it up. But people with autism are usually more right brain, which means they're more in tune to the infinite mind. So you see the movie Rain Man. That's a good example of a movie of a guy who had. What's up, Leroy? There with my dog. Look. What are you doing? Hey, what's up, man? Leroy. What's up, bro? You got the infinite mind? But yeah, if you watch the movie Rain Man, he had autism and he had what are you doing, man? He could remember a lot more shit than other people could remember. He was remembering cars, they was gambling and stuff like that. It was a real good movie, but there was a lot of symbolism in that movie that was real. That as far as he's drinking out the toilet. Look. Leroy. Yeah, he's drinking out of the toilet. Don't judge me, okay? He can do that. He a dog, all right? But back to Rain Man and autism. They got the right brain. There's a video on YouTube of this dude who could draw like anything he could remember. It was insane because he had the right brain. But then he had problems, remembering certain things too, like small numbers and things like that, because his mind was so infinite that he couldn't actually lock himself into the physical realm of matter and time and space. You know what I'm saying? Because his mind was so infinite. So you don't have to go that far in the right brain to get into the infinite mind. You can, but if you just know that it's room like that in your right brain, that you start exercising it like kung fu, or exercising it like working out. Exercise those parts of your brain and the infinite knowledge, and you just find out that it just goes deeper and deeper and on forever, just like this mirror that I'm showing you. So stay in tune to hoodx.com. It's your boy K-Blao. hit up Willie Lump Silos. You trying to figure out how we get paid by doing this. I'm gonna go chase this dog because I think he eating one of my socks. I'm gonna holler at you.